Okay, welcome back everybody. So we go from collaborating to build green infrastructure from the first session to now sharing data and becoming a smart city. Small minds compete, big minds collaborate, great minds unite. It is a dumb city that doesn't share its knowledge and will be left behind. I talked through the SmartKlub model earlier on in the first session. Our model has already accelerated to a point where the chances of human interaction to collaborate, which is growing, and knowledge share is growing, has driven to a point now where we actually need to support that with computer systems. That way we can share knowledge in the evening. We can share knowledge asynchronously when we're not necessarily in the same room. We can share knowledge through data streams, but to do that we need to understand collectively what our joint needs are and what our deliverables are. Just a couple of minutes on SmartKlub's work. We were lucky enough to win a very large Innovate UK bid, and I want to work with all the panelists today on developing this programme further. But our anchor supporter is Milton Keynes City Council. It's called Community Action Platform for Energy. And it brings together all of the energy needs of citizens, landlords, businesses, communities, local SMEs, commercial, into providing them with meaningful tools to build their own energy solutions, which is why I said earlier to Andreas how wonderful it would be if a city had pre-organized itself and prepared itself to collaborate. So what the point here is, do you know the power of your own data? And if we put the power of that data in your hands and gave you the tools to manage it, you could build your own projects. A house becomes a street, becomes a village, becomes a very large economic unit. To do that, we need to identify and capture the data. So we've flown satellites over Milton Keynes. We've captured every single roof. We've got all of it, the energy flows within the city, and we are understanding its supply chain. That energy intelligence is then being shared on a software platform which allows us to then match energy solutions in various sectors. So we're bringing all the private landlords together, we're bringing all of the commercial manufacturers together, etc. And therefore we can roll out at city scale, and we've run a similar project to this with Siemens. They'll mention that later in Nottingham. So we've got a very large software build going on. Part of that team is Open University, also a company called Tech Mahindra, who just finished Google Glasses and some large projects with Apple. But by December, we will have a software platform that you can effectively model all your own estate, evaluate it, run all the business models, drag down your satellite data, all your solar energy, and your energy heat loss from your building will be understood. We'll also be able to model occupancy effect and strip that from the physics of a building. However, even once you've done all that, even once you've got all of the engineering collaboration and tools in hand, you still need to get over this problem of making decisions and get over this stiction of actually talking to each other. So I'm fascinated to hear from the panel later on the European Green Capital and also one of the Europe's largest university demonstrators, how those projects have come on. Very, very relevant to my own journey indeed. So we need to understand social motivations. We need to understand why people make decisions, or more importantly, why they don't make decisions, why social norms dominate, and why people still do not value energy and do not actually create projects, because we have everything in place to be able to get those projects moving. So we need to remove the barriers, create access to funding, create local champions, create local mavens, and build trust and success. Which brings me on to data sets and how those data sets now, so very, very importantly, there is a paper going through both governments at the moment that will mean all future energy company energy bills will be given to local authorities. So that was a privacy bill before that could not be accessed. By the end of this year, all energy bills will be free to local authorities to be able to model. Also, there'll be a freedom of EPC data as well. So authorities will be in a unique position, in fact flooded with additional open data and they will need the tools and the collaborative partnerships to be able to deal with those and execute them. And I think we've got the perfect panel to talk about that as we go through. So it's a very, very exciting time for open data. It's a very, very exciting time to be flying thermal flyovers, flying solar, matching that with benefits data. We're going to hear Keith speak later, and I collaborated in Keith's earlier career where we matched data with energy flyover and thermal flyover to focus on fuel poor and target energy obligation money better than it has ever been done before. So we live in a world of open data, we live in a world of developing software, and we need companies and local authorities who are open to that data